If you are in the market right now and you're trying to purchase an engagement ring, you definitely want to tune in because we have been in the business for so long, and I cannot emphasize enough how many times we've seen this situation play out. It is extremely important you tune in today because it might be a costly mistake that you can definitely prevent and avoid. All right, so I'm gonna get right into it for you. These are three things you should do before purchasing the engagement ring. Right? This has nothing to do with design or types of jewelry or anything. This has everything to do with research on your partner. All right, and I'll tell you why. Because number one, all right, first, it will ensure the ring you present is something your partner truly loves, and that shows how well you really know them. Okay, I can't emphasize it enough. Many people that actually purchase engagement rings end up opting to customize, which is totally fine. I mean, customization is a beautiful thing. The beautiful thing about technology these days and customization is something that we do here also at Fire and Brilliance is that we can make anything as long as it's manufacturable. If you want to put diamonds or moissanite or sapphires or rubies or gold or platinum or palladium, or if you want to just make extravagant or simple, you want to make it a solitaire or a three-stone setting or a halo, whatever it is that you decide to do, we could do it. But the difference here is that that is not the point. The point is it something that your partner actually wants? Right? It is so important because we've seen this played out so many times in our history at Fire and Brilliance that sometimes the person that's purchasing the jewelry is purchasing something that they think is beautiful. It does not necessarily mean something that their partner thinks is beautiful. Does that make sense? Right. So, and it has not, it's not a knock on the person that's purchasing, because many times the person that's purchasing the jewelry, they're excited. They can't wait to propose. They have planned out a vacation in Hawaii or wherever it is that they decide to go. They've planned out the perfect scenario with roses, and they planned the family and friends to attend and all of that. And the moment is beautiful, right? But the difference is that eventually their partner does not like the ring, and it could have all been prevented if they just did a little more research and asked the right questions. I understand sometimes you don't want to ruin the surprise, but there are other creative ways to doing it, right? So, and I'll let you be the judge of how you want to be creative. But there are people that's normally close to her, right? Friends, family, best friend, cousin, mom, dad. I don't know. There's other ways you could do it. Go. I wouldn't. I'm not saying you should go through their phone if they're actually looking at rings. But if you notice they're looking at rings, maybe you should kind of peek over a little bit and see what kind of styles they're actually into, right? So all I'm saying is, make sure that that they will like it before purchasing the ring, because sometimes many jewelry items can be exchanged or returned, but if you end up opting to go with a customized option, sometimes it can be a headache because custom options are normally, if not at always, non-refundable, because, and for most jewelry companies, because it is customized to your unique preference, right? And which makes sense because it's the same thing as customizing a shoe or customizing a t-shirt or hat or anything like that at all. Once it's customized, it's unique to you, right? So again, number one, you want to ensure that you present something that your partner truly loves. All right, number two, knowing your partner's ring style will also make you more confident in the selection and make the proposal more personal and meaningful. Meaning, if you're going to put in all the thought of the proposal site, who you're going to invite, are you going to make it intimate? If you're going to go all out, like some people do, and have a photographer that's hiding from behind the scenes somewhere, if you're going to find that perfect place, perfect time, perfect music, perfect ambiance, perfect whatever it is that you did, you want to make sure that you come in with full confidence that she's going to say yes, and she's going to like what she sees, and it just makes it much more meaningful and special for that specific occasion, right? And last but not least, number three, finally, it will ensure you are choosing something within your budget and making sure that you avoid making any costly mistakes. And this is actually very, very important, right, guys? Because at the end of the day, you know how much you can spend or you're willing to spend on the ring, right? When you are planning a proposal, many times people are also thinking about the future wedding ahead. possibly potentially buying a home or kids. So everything has to be budgeted accordingly. And buying jewelry obviously is not the most, it's not the cheapest thing. It's quite expensive rather. So if you are budgeting it accordingly and you know exactly what you're going to purchase based on what she likes, then it's extremely important because at least you're avoiding any costly mistakes. And again, it goes back to number one. And the reason number one is because if you do know that she will like it, then the mistake will be prevented from you actually having to purchase a second ring or having to deal with some other financial issues on figuring out how to purchase a different ring that she eventually likes, right? So and it's these are situations that really do play out in real life for people that propose. It is not abnormal. It's not as it's rare, but it's not abnormal when every once in a while the person will purchase a ring that they think is nice as opposed to what the other person thinks is nice, and eventually it's a costly mistake for them, and they have to actually go way over budget and purchase a second ring. Okay, so again, like I mentioned to you earlier, this has nothing to do with design, has nothing to do with the gemstones you choose, has nothing to do with any of that. It has everything to do with research on your partner, research on what they like, research on their taste, their style, before you make that decision on purchasing an engagement ring. And if you find some value in what I said here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you for everyone that subscribed to us for over the years. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. You can also follow us on TikTok and all the other social media platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn. You can follow me personally, or you can also follow Fire and Brilliance, or both. And if you haven't checked out our previous episode, we went over 3 reasons why men might want to keep it simple with their wedding bands. Okay. And if you want to see that episode, go ahead and click or tap here. It'll take you there. And I'll see you again next time. Goodbye.